Hi, Nick from Opinion Meter here today to walk users through creating a simple survey in Survey Manager. As you can see, I'm currently logged in on the home screen, and I'm going to select the New Survey option here in the lower left-hand corner. This will take me to the Survey Creation Wizard. The first step of the Survey Creation Wizard is to choose whether you wish to start with a blank survey, a template from our template library, or an existing survey. Today we're going to go ahead and start with a blank survey. Next, you'll choose whether you want to make a single or multi-mode survey. A multi-mode survey can run across any of the three modalities we support via mobile phone or tablet using the Touchpoint mobile application, or as a web survey. Web surveys can be taken on mobile devices but do not have the same features as the app, such as offline data capture. Today, we're going to create a single mode survey of the web variety, and we're going to call it 24/7 Customer Satisfaction Online. We can give our survey a description. It's optional, and we're going to go ahead and just skip that today. Because we're starting with a blank survey, the Survey Creation Wizard will display a blank page. Very briefly, we'll talk about pages in your survey. As you can see, there's a page title, and this one has not been named, so we can name this Page 1 using this menu bar down here at the bottom. We can also add additional pages using this bar, or delete pages. So if you select the page you just added and click the delete icon, you can easily remove a page. Questions live on these pages, and one option that you have with your survey is whether to display a single question per screen or an entire page of questions. Pages are also just very useful for keeping your survey organized. Let's go ahead and dive into actually creating our survey now. So first we'll grab a question from the right side pane, in this case a single choice question, and drag it over to the left. Next, we'll set our question options. In this case, it's a single choice, so we'll say single column using touch buttons. And we'll say, did you enjoy your visit to our store today? And this is a simple yes/no question, so I'm going to go ahead and delete one of these responses and just put yes and no in here. And then I can save my question. Next, we'll go ahead and add an open-ended question asking any issues the customer had. So we'll drag an open-ended question over, set it to multi-line. Open-ended questions do feature the ability to capture media. So in this case, we'll allow them to capture video and audio, but not a picture. Each question type has different options that will be displayed in the feature list. Some of the very common ones are things like required response, which makes the question mandatory. Single choice questions can have auto next, where as soon as the person commits to an answer, it moves on to the next question. So always be sure to check those, as some of them can be very useful. In the case of open-ended, you can make them date or time response, numeric only response, things like that. But we're going to focus on this question now, and we're simply going to say, what could we have done to make your visit better? And again, we'll save that question. Next, we're going to give the user a matrix question. Matrix questions are very useful when you have multiple subjects with the same rating system or same response system. In this case, we're going to ask them to rate a few different areas of our store. So we'll say, please rate our store on the following criteria. And we'll say staff availability, cleanliness, and ease of access. And we'll just say bad, okay, or good are our options here. And then we save that. And one thing we can do in here is, obviously our second question is maybe not relevant to people that enjoyed their visit to our store today. So we can actually click the logic menu up here. And this will open a menu allowing us to enable branching logic. So we can say, well, if they enjoyed their visit, we'll just skip them to question 3. And if they didn't enjoy it, then we'll ask them question 2. And then we'll save that question. The last question we're going to add here is an optional one to capture their information. So we're going to choose a matrix open-ended question. Again, matrix questions are very useful when you have multiple things with the same response scale. In the case of an open-ended one, multiple open-ended questions in a single space. And we'll say, please provide your information. And so we'll ask for a few things here. We'll ask for their name, their phone number, and their email address. Now, what will happen is each one of these fields will present them with an open-ended field they can type into, but we want to make sure that they're giving us data that we can use. So we're going to check the date, time, email, numeric option under our features for this question, and we'll go ahead and say that the phone number can only be numeric and that the email can only be an email. This will limit the input values, so they'll only be able to input numbers in the phone number field or an email address in the email field. Now I can hit save, and I've created a very simple 4-question survey. Really quickly, we're going to jump up here to the survey settings menu. This is very useful, and you should always check it when you're creating a new survey. In this case, we're going to go to our survey navigation menu, and we'll say that when the user is done with their survey, we want to redirect them to our website at www.opinionmeter.com. And so now when they finish the survey, they'll be sent to our homepage, and we'll go ahead and give them a back button too. Options here will vary just depending on your modality. So we're going to go back to our survey now. One other option is we're going to uncheck this question layout, single question per screen. This means that instead of seeing one question at a time, they'll see the entire survey. The exception here is they'll see the first question by itself because it has branching logic. So that means until they choose it, we don't know what questions to display for them. So we'll just uncheck that. We can also make all questions required, or if we had a really big survey and we're scrolling through trying to find a question, we can uncheck show responses and then we'll just see the questions. We're going to move on now to branding our survey. If you've already created a theme, you just scroll through and find the theme you wish to use. In this case, I'm going to use my 24/7 online theme. And the preview window will update as soon as you hit save, and you should be able to see your new theme. You can click these options up here to see it in different modalities, so tablet or mobile phone. And you can also click the Customize tab to change or disable your introduction and thank you messages. So I'm going to go ahead and disable my introduction message, but I'll leave my thank you message in place and hit save. For more information on how to brand your survey, please see our video library. We have a video specifically on how to set up the branding for your survey. We're going to move on now, and the next step is distributing our survey. We're going to distribute this as a public online survey. That means that anybody with the URL can take the survey anytime they want. It's a completely anonymous survey, except in the case of us having that question on the end asking for their information. So the first thing we'll do is choose public. If you want to distribute an email to a specific mailing list, then you would choose private. Everybody would get their own URL. We would be able to track it back to who they are as an individual. For further information on that, just see our video on private survey distribution. Now I have a few options here. I can distribute my survey now or schedule it for distribution later. I can choose to use a standard URL, or if I want to make something a little bit easier, I can create a tiny URL. This is just a shortened link, so it's easier for people to remember, easier to print on business cards. I can also enable a QR code. So somebody can scan this with their smartphone, and it'll take them directly to the survey. One other option I have is to identify the survey's locations. If I do this, I'll pick my 3 stores, and I'll click the Generate URL button. And now each store will get its own URL and QR code. So I could print these out on stickers or business cards and place them at each location. And I know that the person who took the survey came in from store 1, store 2, or store 3 based on the URL and QR code. So my survey is now ready to go. I can print this out, I can email it to people, I can fly it over the city behind an airplane, and people can take my survey and I'll know which store they came in on. This has been a very brief video on how to set up and distribute a survey. For other distribution methods such as device or private online, please visit our video library or our YouTube channel at youtube.com/opinionmeter. Thank you very much and have a fantastic day.